She should have just said that. But no, she wanted so much goddamn attention, she let Jeremiah kiss her. Hey guys, it's your girl Sierra. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be about the summer I turned pretty, but mainly we're talking about what it's like to be the older sibling and the very heavy responsibility weight blanket that other people put on being an older sibling. Let's get on into it. So, season 1 of the show, we're introduced to all the characters. Y'all know the rundown. We're introduced to Belly, Steven, Conrad, Jeremiah, Laurel, Susannah, and they're very deeply, overly connected relationship with each other. Like, it's a little bit crazy, in my opinion. Belly has had a crush on Conrad for forever. Things get really messy because no one knows how to communicate on the goddamn show within the first season, just to be quite honest. Go ahead and jump to the moment that comes about when it comes to this show. And that is when Belly gets drunk off of those pomegranate martinis or whatever the fuck it was. Also, by the way, just because you want a teenager to think you're cool doesn't mean you should allow them to drink. That's not your child. You're trying to seem cool and be like, oh my god, I want her to think I'm a good, I want her to like me because that's my boyfriend's daughter. Still, if it's anything related to substances, that's not your opinion, that's not your choice, that is not your decision to make. No. So Veronica, whatever her goddamn name was, I'm glad her dad broke up with her because that was very irresponsible of her. I don't give a fuck if you want these kids to like you or not. I'm like, you need to ask your mama about that. Your mama and your daddy. It ain't got nothing to do with me. That's what she should have done. She should have disappeared like that meme, okay? And Susannah falls, and everyone takes Susannah away to make sure she's okay. And when they go check on Belly, Conrad's dad is literally over here berating him, being like, oh, you're responsible to watch for the younger ones. This is your fault. You're responsible for this. And that's when I was like, you know what? This is where we got a goddamn problem. Conrad's been going through a lot this season. He knows everything that's going on with his parents. And he's just been going through it. And this right here, this is the moment I was like, we need to talk about this. Because throughout the show, I noticed this very overwhelming sense of responsibility that Conrad is forced into. Pretty much because of these damn parents of his. Mainly his parents. Because Laurel doesn't say any of this. It's mainly from his mom and his dad. And jump to the affair. So he knows his dad cheated on his mom with the secretary. They all do it. While his mom was going through chemo. The first time when she got sick. So he knows this. This is ridiculous. And he has the audacity to demand Conrad to be responsible about responsibility when he isn't responsible himself. He is literally the trash man himself. He is literally Satan himself on this show. He is the worst man I've seen on this show. You have the absolute audacity to berate Conrad about responsibility when you're over here being extremely irresponsible about your relationship. You cheated on her when she was going through chemo. Isn't the vows through sickness and health? So clearly you didn't take your vows seriously either. Marriage ain't a damn prize either, because even married people do shit like this. It's not a prize, clearly, because he didn't value his wife. He didn't care about their marriage, so he did this. And he's over here berating Conrad about being responsible. And you don't even take care of your kids. Audacity of that man. And then moving on to Savannah's illness. So we all know she's had cancer, and clearly it's come back. And the only people who know are Laurel, Conrad, and his dad. And Laurel didn't even know that Conrad found out. Yeah. I have some other notes about Conrad's dad, but I'm not even going to entertain that man anymore. And pretty much Conrad has no one to confide in because no one else knows. And he's not going to tell the younger siblings because he feels as if like that would be irresponsible and they'll be going through this mess too. And they're going to be like, well, Conrad, what do we do? Which is what they constantly do throughout the show. It's like, Conrad, what do we do? With the beach house. Conrad, what do we do? Come on, tell us what to do. You're a responsible one. Moving on to the main point of this video, which is everyone's lack of care for Conrad. He is so responsible for everybody else that no one really cares for his feelings whatsoever. Belly is so selfish and so self-centered that she doesn't even recognize that Conrad was grieving about his mother, and then thinks that him being distant has to deal with her. Like I said in my previous video, there's some issues there. So she breaks up with him, and then she has like this stupid narration montage moment of just like, he broke my heart, like, oh my god, everything bad that happens with him or whatever, like, he always does this to me, he always breaks my heart. Girl, he's grieving, he's been going through shit. It has nothing to do with you. She has no care for him, really. It's always about her and how she's feeling, not about what Conrad's feeling or what Conrad is going through. And I get that he's hard to understand, especially at the beginning, but there's literally no level of care from Belly towards Conrad. She, in my mind, she doesn't actually care about Conrad. She doesn't. She actually doesn't. And she's constantly playing this game of which brother do I love? Like, let's go back and forth. All this bullshit. Like, it's a mess. And Conrad cares so much and tries to do everything right. And things always go wrong, but it's not his fault. Things just, it's the way of life. Things just happen the way it happens. And then, when it comes to the beach house, like I said, he did everything he could to stop it from selling, but still, it ended up doing what it was gonna do anyway. And like I said, they were like, Conrad, what do we do? Tell us what to do. Oh my god, Conrad, what are we gonna do? Why are you relying on him? Why can't you come up with your own original thought? Why can't you come up with the plan? Jeremiah barely came up with anything. All he did was like, let's go up there and talk to her. You haven't talked to your aunt in years. How in the hell did you think that was gonna work? And his aunt is a bitch too anyway. Don't like her. Like, whatever issue you had with your sister, that's between you and your dead sister now, and your daddy. It has nothing to do with your nephews. But she was too much. She was too much up in her own bullshit to see that. Even Conrad had to put her in her own place. Why is Conrad being the most responsible person, the most responsible adult out of all these fucking adults? Because he's like, literally says like, well, I'm so sorry that your dad loved our mom more than you. Like, I'm sorry, but you have to get the fuck over it. Like, I'm sorry she was too busy dying to pick up the phone and tell you what was going, like, what, you know, and talk to you. But you could have done it too. You could have been a sister and actually reached out to her, but you didn't. And he read her ass for filth in that moment. And he also knew not to rely on his dad. So he's trying to handle it as best as he can without him. And then his dad comes in doing the one good thing and being like, oh, I'll buy it. I'll buy it for you guys. And Jeremiah's like, thanks, Dad. And Conrad is like, I see through this bullshit. This is the bare minimum of what he could do. He didn't do a goddamn thing. Not when his wife was going through cancer the first time, and not through the second time. He didn't do a damn thing for her. And so he feels like, oh, it's like, oh, I guess I'll do this. I'll buy the beach house then for you guys. The man never cared about his family. He never cared about Susannah. He never cared about those kids. He saw that as doing the bare minimum. And Jeremiah is eating that shit up. And Conrad over here sees it for what it truly is. Just a payout. Because his dad is nothing but trash. And when Belly and Jeremiah, they get together, Jeremiah is very much so like overdoing it and like showing off Belly, kissing Belly on top of Conrad's car on Conrad's campus. Very, very territorial towards Belly, but also just, it's just such a lack of care for his own brother. He doesn't care what Conrad is feeling. He doesn't care. Even Jeremiah says in episode 8, the one I just watched as I'm filming this, he literally says, like, I know how he looks at you. So you knew that your brother still had feelings for her, and he didn't say anything. He's been hiding it, and you over here flaunting your girlfriend in his face. That is disrespectful and rude. You don't care about your brother. You're fucking rude. You're selfish. This is why you and Belly are a perfect fit, because y'all are both selfish. Because that was disrespectful as hell. Conrad has done nothing to him. Nothing. If you want to play all the way to the first season when Jeremiah kissed Belly, that's Belly's fault. Belly didn't even have to kiss Conrad. She played into that because she wanted some fucking attention. That's her fault. She could have literally just said, I'm in love with your brother. She didn't have to kiss Jeremiah. She really could have just been like, I'm in love with Conrad. I'm sorry, what's this? She should have been like, I really love you as like as like my best friend, you know, we're really so close. It's like, but I have feelings for Conrad. She should have just said that. But no, she wanted so much goddamn attention, she let Jeremiah kiss her. And now we get this mess. All because they both selfish. Mainly Belly. She wanted the damn attention. And she got it. And now she fucked everything up. Yep. Lack of care for Conrad. Conrad did play old girl at the beginning. I'm not discounting him for that. But he did not do any of the shit that Belly is doing or what Jeremiah did. He literally stopped talking to that girl. And she was over here like, oh, she's like, well, a college guy, what's my attention? He's like, okay. And it didn't even seem like they were really exclusive either. It was like they liked each other, but, you know, like just hanging out together. So it wasn't like they were exclusively together either. So he was like, okay, yeah, go with that guy. Fine, whatever. I don't care. We're not even really together. Like, to be quite honest. So, and like I said in my notes, Conrad is always collecting these adults. Why is he the responsible one out of these goddamn adults? The only adult that's always been responsible, but is a little bit wishy-washy, is Laurel. But Laurel is responsible. He doesn't have to collect Laurel. The only time he did talk to her was when Laurel said that she wasn't gonna be involved with Belly's wedding preparations. Which, granted, I wouldn't either, because this is some bullshit. He's like, I think you're gonna regret it. But he doesn't say it in such a rude way. I feel like Conrad and Laurel are alike somewhat, but he also has so much respect for her, and she has so much respect for him, that they both know how to communicate respectfully and responsibly to each other about certain things. It's a very healthy dynamic, and I feel like they have a better connection, like as like a family unit, than anybody else on this show. I don't know what his relationship like with his mom, but his mom has a lot of displacement and a lot of fairy tale-ness mess that she wanted to implicate on these children and try to get them to be together. Conrad and Laurel are the only sane ones out of this entire cast. Everyone else lost their goddamn mind. Something's wrong with all of them. And yeah. Just zero, just I feel like as the older sibling, just like wrapping it all up, there's so much pressure for us older siblings to be responsible for other people and to just take the weight of the world essentially, and everything revolving siblings or even just people that we care for, that we end up overdoing it because we feel like we have to be responsible because people told us we had to be responsible. So now we're like, we have to be responsible for everything, and no one's telling us to care for ourselves. So then when I forgot her name, but when the other girl, the girl that's in medical school with him, she's like, you need to take care of yourself. She's like, what about your feelings? Even Laurel is like, what about your happiness? We're so focused on our own, on other people's happiness and attention and being responsible for the people, that we put ourselves on the back burner. And for Conrad, he had no chance of even caring for himself with family like that. He was already set up for failure because his dad is completely selfish. He was selfish in his marriage, and he was selfish all the way to the end. Because even after your wife died, after you guys get divorced and your wife dies, you over here flaunting your secretary that you had an affair with in everyone else's face. That's extremely selfish and extremely disrespectful. And Karma is the only one who can clock that. Everyone else is so self-centered and has no accountability for themselves or their own responsibility for themselves and their decisions. But yet Conrad has to take on the weight of everybody else and their terrible decision making. That's not fair. Conrad should stay far away from all of them. His dad, his brother, Belly, he should stay far away from everybody. The only person he should stay in contact with is maybe Steven and Laurel. Other than that, leave everybody alone. because they don't know how to have accountability and responsibility for themselves. It's unfair. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. If you like this video, be sure to like it, comment below your opinions on this whole dynamic of being the oldest sibling and all this responsibility and pressure. And until next time, stay magical. Love ya. Bye.